Hello. We've just gone past I Am Marla, which is the seventh episode of Star Trek Con. And this is a very spooky title. I Am Marla. What do you think I thought? Reading that title. We knew something was going to happen to Marla, our character from the Enterprise, who absconded with Khan. We knew it was going to happen someday. You know what happens. Something very, very sad. Actually, this is probably the saddest episode yet. It was so sad I had to hit pause. I kind of didn't want to continue. I could feel myself starting to cry. I didn't cry, but I could feel it. I tend to cry at inanimate objects, like ships, not when people, have a big problem and go away for a long, long time. Not to spoil anything, I think you can figure it out after all the episodes called I Am Marla, referencing a person, singular, what happens? Lots of stuff happens here. The seeds of doubt were planted last episode between characters, between factions we're seeing, and now it's kind of bloomed. We're openly fighting each other now. Something bad's happening with Ivan, our villain character, as it were, given that all the things he's done up to this point. Spoilers, right? Spoilers, I know, but he does kill people. And I mean, probably like most of them did, given the whole World War III fiasco. But, it's kind of a different scenario when you do it for no reason at all, just because you're crazy. And speaking of crazy, Khan is hanging on by a thread now. He was hanging on at the beginning with two hands, and then hanging on with two hands and a foot over the edge. And now if the foot has fallen and maybe one of the other hands has fallen and he's holding on to Sandy with one hand, call that a threat if you want to, but you can totally see how things are going to go really, really, really south. If we lose one more finger on that hand holding on to the ledge of Sandy, we're just in Wrath of Khan mode, for the foreseeable future until we get to the movie, The Wrath of Khan. Without really going into too much detail, because you should be listening to this yourself, we have not exactly perfect relations between our reporter character, our historian character, journalist. I still don't know what her title is, and Tuvok, and who is she? Lear? Something tells me that Lear has a dog in this race, trying to find out what really happened with SETI Alpha 5, SETI Alpha 6, Khan, Kirk. Do you have a dog in this race, Lear? I'm not really sure, but Tuvok can tell when someone's lying. They say it in the episode, given that some Vulcans, most Vulcans, have very hard time lying, and some even can't physically do it. Tuvok suggests that this makes him uniquely able to tell when someone else is lying. He suggests that either Lear is lying or the records are lying. And I just went, whoa. I had one of those brain moments where my brain exploded. And I realized that there is no reason why these records have to be taken as fact. I didn't realize that until now. Tuvok suggests it, and then you can't stop thinking about it, right? Everything we know about what has happened in the plot of Star Trek Con is based on historical records that Lear found. Are they even real? Why must they be real? Why must they be the truth? Like the person dictating it, Marla, Khan, what have you, why would they tell the truth? Can you tell me why? Why would it be true? It doesn't have to be. That's very alarming. And it calls into question everything we've seen so far. And now I'm looking at the incentive. What is the incentive behind what everyone has done and what everyone has said about what they have done? You can do something, and then what you say about what you did actually is totally different than what you did sometimes. And we do get to not see it. I wish we could see it, but we do hear fighting between the augments, and I thought that would have been so cool on video to see how that kind of looks. But we don't get to see it, but we get to hear it. And I'm not going to tell you who. You're going to have to listen for yourself. And by the way, with regards to listening, I thought this was as good a time as any to tell you how I'm listening to Star Trek Con. These are the Sennheiser HD 569s. This is not an ad. I'm telling you, it's a good idea to have something cool to use to listen to Star Trek Con with. Given that this is an auditory experience, you might want to, invest in cool audio equipment to hear the full range of sound that goes on in Star Trek Con. And what I have are these. And I had an old pair of headphones, like a Sony MDR something. Sony MDR XB 800. I might be wrong, but I used those headphones for like 15 years straight. And I used them until there was nothing left of them. Till they were mostly duct tape and coat hanger holding them together. So I finally decided to upgrade, and I got these for about $200. And I have no idea about audio stuff. Like, I'm not an expert on that. I don't know. I can't tell you what all these little fancy words mean. Like, it's scintillating, or it's sparkly, or it's the bass is too wet or something. I don't know what any of these things mean, but these do sound pretty cool. So I can vouch for them pretty much, and they feel durable, but mostly these are closed back over ear headphones, by the way, with a they're not wireless. I don't want wireless headphones. I like the cord. I'm old school like that. But the biggest thing is that, and the reason why I'm telling you this, is for people out there that have uniquely large heads. My head is gigantic. Like, if my head were normal size compared to my body, it would be like half the size you're seeing here if it were normal. I have an unusually large head at the top. I can't wear hats, pretty much. They fall off. If I have a ball cap on, the slightest breeze will blow the hat off. So I need special hats to kind of fit my head. And so I was worried about these being too small to go over my head. But let me tell you, from someone with a very, very big head, an unusually large head, these are big. Okay? They're huge. And for the first time in my life, I did not have to set something to the largest size to fit my head for the first time. So I'm going to put the mic down, and I'm going to lay it right here. You open these things here to go like max size, right? See how much further I can still go? Okay, look at this. I'm going to put them on. This is astounding how big they are. Really. Look at them. Look how much extra space I have. I have never had headphones like recognize the size of my head like that. Recognize that there are people with giant heads. And my head is huge. So there's the small size. So if you have a tiny head, maybe this won't work, but I don't even have to put it anywhere close to the max size. I just do like that, just a little bit, and that's enough. I don't even know how this is possible, like who did this, who came up with this, but I noticed, like when I do shopping around, I shop for things I like to get the best bang for my buck. I didn't really see a lot of people talking about the size. I never saw reviewers saying that their head was huge. My head is huge, right? And this, it suits me as someone who has a gigantic head. So, public service announcement. People out there with big heads, you know what they say about people with big heads? Big ideas, right? That's right. You know, I don't gotta tell you. But, this will work for you. So, that's how I am hearing Star Trek Con with the Sennheiser HD 569. Considered an entry-level headphone, I guess. You know how these audiophile people are. They really like to take things to the extreme. It has been an enjoyable experience with Star Trek Con in general, just the show, and Star Trek Con through those headphones. Again, this is not a sponsor. I'm just telling you, in this experimental review format, a little bit of real life details about what's going on here. and I'm looking forward to episode 8 of Star Trek On. I have no idea if they're bundling them together for one big finale, but this is the 7th of 9th episode. And I'm Lieutenant Marek, and I'm going to see you at the soonest possible time. So long.